Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, we'll go in just a second.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is David Gross with Condé Systems. We thank you for being part of this webinar we have for you. We hope it will be valuable. You know, when I wake up in the morning, Vic, really have two things on my mind.
Yes, sir.
One of them is what new products can we bring to market? And to me, that is so exciting. And the next thing is how do we help people make money? So when I teach my classes, we'll teach, at an MBM location, I think in 2 weeks, and we share a lot of ideas. But I get people share with me their ideas, and this has been one of those things that I think pretty much everybody can benefit from. And so with that introduction, I'd like to introduce Vic Audrey. Vic and I have been friends for many, many years. And Vic has sort of been a person dedicated to one focus, and that is helping folks be able to purchase sublimation products online. And Vic, with that, tell us just a little bit about your background and how did we get to this moment?
Well, I was started off my career 40 years ago, David. I'm kind of an old guy. In MBA in finance and so forth. Did that for many years and got into sales in 1990 and was working with Staples promotional products at the end of my career. They sold corporate programs, American Airlines and big companies like that. Got enamored by doing online stores and we just didn't think the big boys were doing them right. And the day I brought in a $150,000 corporate program and they told me it was too small, I said, it's not too small. There's got to be a better way. And I proceeded to go out and try to make it. So since 2014, David, we've been associated with you, and you were gracious enough to help us point us in the right direction to get started. And we're proud of that association, sir.
Okay, so Vic is going to take us through his current product, and there's a test store that everybody can go to sort of see how it works. And with that, Vic, let me just say this. Everybody is in listen-only mode, but what I want you to do, if you have a question, I hope you do, type it into your panel over there. And at the end of the webinar, we will do our best to read and answer the questions. If some of the questions are things that require a very long explanation, we'll take that offline. And then at the very end, we'll give away a prize to one of the fine folks that was part of this from the GoToWebinar platform. We are attempting to stream this also to our Facebook page, and so if you want to ask a question, you can certainly try. I'm not positive we're going to be able to see them, but if we don't get to them right away, we'll get to them in a little bit. So with that, Vic, take it away.
Well, thank you, David. And again, I want to thank you in particular for all you've done for the world of sublimation over the years, and you've certainly made an impact on many people's lives and mine too. So working with David a little bit, we've talked over the years since 2014, and it was always our goal to try to make it easier for folks to make money. I mean, really, that's what this is all about. How do you make money? And so we've been developing software, and we've done all kinds of things with software. I believe in online personalization because I believe that when people see something that's personal and relevant to them and their families, that they buy more. So working with David a little bit, we came up with this idea of the Premier Sublimation store. So we're quite proud of the concept. But I want to first let everybody know that's listening to this that how smart y'all are, because this is absolutely a great market to be in. recently our group had a report. We paid a lot of money for it to find out how big the gift market was. And it's huge and growing. These are 2018 figures up there, 70 billion worldwide, of course. 70, down at the bottom here, you can see that 47% of that was in the United States. It's probably more now. But it's growing 4 to 8% a year. So as you can see, there are non-personalized gifts and personalized gifts here. But it's all growing, and this is just a great area, a great market to be in to produce something with sublimation. So everyone that's here listening, you've done a good thing. So we put this together, and it occurred to David and I that, you know, with Condé being involved, with like David said, they've been leaders in the technology and distributing printers and sublimation products for years and years and years. And you know, iPersonalyze has been since 2014. We were a startup, and we started off, you know, kind of crawling along and building a Facebook app, and then we launched that into a full website. But I've got a team of people that have been with me since that first day, and I'll tell you, I'm so proud of them. I call them the iPersonalyze team. I couldn't be prouder of them. But they have become leading experts in this idea of doing on-demand products, which all sublimation can be done on demand, and having a personalization on a product. During these years, interestingly enough, about our second year into it, we were fortunate enough to get a big client named Coca-Cola, and so we started doing their Share Coke program for their apparel. I tried to get the bottles, you know, we were putting names on Coke bottles. I tried to get that, but it just didn't work out. They already had it set up, and couldn't pull that away from their existing group. But Coca-Cola did tell us that we did it the modern way. I always valued them saying that. Coca-Cola is a leader in personalization and customization. And Coke came up with the phrase after a couple of years saying that, you know, mass customization is about products, but mass personalization is about people and their emotions, things that are relevant to them. And that's what people want. They want things, particularly the millennials that are growing up out there, that's what they want. They want to be able to have things that are personalized to them. And so.
Boy, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, it is. Go ahead, Dave. You have something else?
Well, just I agree with you. It's all about value, and you know, the value is the substrate, of course. The value is the artwork. The value is the selling environment, and I think this provides an interesting turnkey selling environment that will allow people to really, I think, to an extent, add a new stream of income. So whatever you're doing, I see this is a new opportunity. Of course, if you do all this, you still have to have the traffic, right?
Absolutely. And you know, we've learned a few lessons over the last 5 years, David. We've learned that these products that are going to be done online have to be set up. It's like any business, anything you do, the products have to be set up absolutely as simple as possible, because if you make it too complicated, you lose people. So fortunately, in our system, every product that we have set up there can be different from every other product. Everything can be customized differently. So that's just a key component to it. I don't know if anybody else has noticed, but every once in a while, we folks get lazy, and so if people have to do too much work, they're not gonna go through with it. For instance, if you're doing a monogram iPhone case online, well, then you're just letting them put letters in there. So that's really all they need to see. They don't need to see a whole bunch of other stuff. As simple as you can make it is what makes it work.
Well, you show us. I'm anxious to see it.
All right. Let me talk for a second here about Shopify. And Shopify, I'm sure many people know who they are, but I'll just tell you, they are a dominant force in this in e-commerce, and we've been we started off doing a Magento platform, but by golly, Shopify has come on so strong. The last 3 years we've been working in Shopify, and I'm going to show this, David, and bring it on in about Shopify, because the great thing for people in sublimation is that Shopify has just a world of enhancements that you can get. For instance, there's so many people. There's 800,000 Shopify merchants that are out there, and there's a whole wealth of developers and people that are associated with it building extensions. So for instance, if someone wanted to have a loyalty points program or some kind of special login, or maybe you wanted to set up a portal that would wouldn't take the money right away, but would create a draft order. All of these combinations and permutations of ideas, Shopify can handle it, and we've just been so amazed at all the resources that are available to folks that we just don't think there's not a better solution out there. And Wall Street calls Shopify the Amazon of e-commerce, and they really are getting to that point. They have dominant. There's other platforms out there. There's Big Commerce. Many may know that one. It's much smaller. There's WooCommerce, which is the e-commerce portion of WordPress, which everybody knows that WordPress has about 30% of the global market in websites, but they're a content site. So WooCommerce is their shopping cart, but Shopify is just so easy to use, and the resources are just tremendous. And so we've been very, very pleased that we decided to make a pivot a little bit about 3 years ago to get into Shopify and get going that way. Another great thing about Shopify is the fact that once you get products set up, and you can take those products and sell them through multiple marketing channels. And this is really one of the key trending concepts in e-commerce. They say for this year and for going forward is that, it's great to be out there. It's great to have your products in the marketplace. It's great to be selling, in Shopify or any of these other platforms, but to be able to take your products and then have them go into other places like Facebook or even Facebook's Messenger service. You could put products into Amazon. Now you can't put personalizable products, but you can certainly put what we call print on demand. Basically, what you see is what you get products that people can immediately see and they click. Amazon and Etsy do not let anyone put a designer inside their systems. But to be clear, Amazon and Etsy both own the customer. So a lot of folks in sublimation get started in Etsy, and I think it's a good place for them to start because Etsy does the marketing, and so does Amazon, but Etsy's an easier place to start. But frankly, you do not own those customers, and they will actually discipline you, and they even throw you off if you try to contact the customer directly. So when you get going and when you grow up and you want to have your own site and start doing it, then you need to look at other options, and we just think Shopify is one of the best for folks to get going with. As you can see, you can go into all those different areas, and I don't know exactly what HOUZE, that was brand new when it showed up, but Shopify tells us that they're going into more and more marketing channels. So if any of these ever interest you, once your products are set up with or without personalization in Shopify, Shopify has built the conduit to get these products sold in other places. And I just think that's a huge plus for anybody going into this business. Our designer, the iPersonalyze online designer, is I've been with my partners in the UK that developed the basic core software. I spent a year when I was going into the business. I spent a year looking for the absolute best online designer and order management system. An order management system is just a way to route orders to somebody. But the online designer, there's a lot of them out there. And when I got into this, I remember, David, somebody on your staff said, oh, there's a lot of online designers, so what? And I said, yeah, but mine's better. Well, it is. And it is. Last November, we did over 1 million orders in this system. So it's robust. It does more things than anybody ever dreamed of that they would need. It's been quite a success story in its own right.
So you would build a website, and then they would have the option to add whatever products they want to it, and set the pricing, and then you provide the conduit for them to get the artwork, and then you provide the conduit for it to be paid for.
That's correct. So whenever somebody comes in, so this is our demo site called homemadechristmaslove.com. You can bring it up anytime you want. But I've selected a product here, one of Condé's Christmas ornaments, and I've already added an image. Of course, I can move that around, slide it around. I can make it bigger. I can make it smaller. I can rotate it. I can do all those things. I can put it back to the way it was too, quickly. But I can add text, which I've done. We love you, baby Debbie, but I don't want it there. Maybe I want it up over here. We can do these things. Now, see, this is just one way of setting up this particular product. Every product can be, what is seen here, from add images on down to everything that you see here, can totally be controlled at a product level. And so, again, if it was a monogram where you're just going to key in a name, key in 2 or 3 initials, then that's all they need to see there. And that's really what we've learned is don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple. The old KIS says keep it simple, stupid is what works, especially online. People get lost when they have to do too much work, so they don't buy. And so that's not at all what we want. We want people to buy. But the facts are that when you do this, when you show them live dynamic imaging, which is what this is, live dynamic changes that show up immediately, they buy more. The studies have shown that they buy 60% more when a customer can actually see what they're designing. So that's great, but when someone goes and adds that to a shop, they've got that new design there, and they add that to the shopping cart. Well, that's great, but at that point we create the production-ready artwork, and so that you don't have to. Now, there's a real time saver right there with this software one. The fact that when the artwork, when that customer places that order and buys, they're going to get an email that says, hey, thank you, that's great. You can say whatever you want, but it basically says, thank you for ordering. You ordered this, it's going to be shipped out in X amount of time, whatever it's put in there. And at the same time, the merchant, whoever owns the store, is going to get almost the same email, but it's going to have a little extra information. It's going to have 2 links there. One is going to show them a thumbnail image of what this design is right here. It'll show them that, but it'll also send them another link for the production-ready artwork. And all they have to do is click that link, and they can immediately download it right there. If they want to come back to it later, they can log into the system, back into our system, and see all their orders going back 6 months on everything they want. They can pull that up at any time. But we think this is a huge plus, that being able to get production-ready artwork. And we're real proud of that too. So I guess we're real proud of a lot of things, aren't we? So we are. That's the way it is. Let me get back here, David, to where I was. Excuse me, just 1 second.
Now, I think also, can't you populate it with sort of pre-done artwork that you could then customize as well?
Yes, you can. It's very flexible. So say if you've already have artwork, and maybe it's artwork that you don't want anybody to put any text over, you don't want them to make any changes. Every single component can be locked down. For instance, here on this screen, if you wanted somebody to be able to write right here next to this little boy, write something, and you want it to be right there, we can lock that down where that text comes in that font in that color and right there. Now, if it's an image that you just want to sell your images, okay, well, what we do is we set up an image gallery and we eliminate all the other options and just let people select the piece of the graphics, the artwork that a merchant has selected, and so it goes in an image gallery. You can have unlimited image galleries. This system's been used a lot for artist stores, and artists will call up and say, "Hey, great, I want to put my stuff out there. That's wonderful." And many of you may have no artist in your local neighborhood or in your town. You could set up a store with them, and you could have their artwork there, and then when it goes through, that art and all the production information can come back directly to you, and so you can service that account automatically. You can do the same thing with a corporate store. For instance, if you know some real estate agents in your town, and you say, "Hey, I'm going to set up cutting boards and some coasters, things that they buy and use for closing gifts." That is a very, very robust market right now. You could set up those cutting boards and let people go in and put the name of who they sold a home to very easily, and then you could set it up down at the bottom very subtly on the bottom right-hand corner of the cutting board. And if many of you want to call me, I'll show you these things. It's a little too much for right now, but that's a very robust market. They can set that up exactly the way they want. It looks great, and you can produce those kind of products all day long. So it's very, very flexible, but it's done the way you want, and that's the way it needs to be. And that's why I'm still, after 5 years, very, very happy to be with my partners, Custom Gateway, on this product. So it's been a winner for us, and it was a good decision. It took me a year to make it, but it was a good decision. So just to recap here, what you would get with one of our stores, a Shopify store, is that we do have over 2,000 Condé products preloaded in our system, and we're very proud of that. It took us a while, but we've got that done. It's not to say that we won't add more. We certainly will. If any of you have a product from Condé that we don't have in our system, that's not a problem. Just let us know what it is, and we'll put it in there. We try to keep up, but David does get them in there pretty fast, and but we certainly have no problem adding additional stores. And realistically, if you have a product from another supplier, which David knows full well that's going to happen, that's fine. We'll put that in there too. That's for you to make money and as easily as possible, and to save as much time as possible. So the other thing we'll do for you with one of these Shopify stores is we will work with you. I'll talk to you. I'm going to spend at least an hour with anybody that signs up. iPersonalyze is not going to have 10,000 members. We're out to have a few. We're a boutique firm that I want to take care of one-to-one. So we will talk to you and find out what your target market is, and I will work with you to help you get graphics, which if you'll tell us where you're going, and you need to know that, who your target market is, and I stress this over and over again, because we've probably done over 500 websites, and we have stepped in every hole, and I can tell you, I know the issues that can happen, that I hear happen. I know why people succeed and why they fail. But one of the things that I tell folks when they call me up and I ask them that question, well, who are you going to market to? They don't know really. We just want a website I want a website with 500 products so that people can buy anything they want. And I say, well, that's just not going to work. And they said, well, why? And I said, well, you can't, because you can't compete with Amazon right off the bat. You just can't do it. The proper way to go into these businesses, if you do not have an established business or an established Shopify, BigCommerce, the way to do these things is to test your product ideas by using a mock-up generator. And so we have built a mock-up generator that folks can use on our iPersonalyze marketplace. It's free, and you can go in there and select Condé products and bring it in to our designer. You can create the product the way you want, and you submit it, and the system will send you the mock-up. It'll also send you the production-ready artwork. Anybody that has a store with us will also get the production-ready artwork. So even if you don't have a Condé product that you're selling on the store, but someone calls you up and says, "Hey, I want this other one," you can go grab it there, create the artwork quickly, send them a mock-up quickly, and then and save that there. We also offer people our as part of that, our sales pipeline builder, which is again just an add-on to the mock-up generator, where all that artwork that's sitting there on your dashboard in our system, you can grab that and say, "I'm going to send it to somebody." We've got email templates that are set up there. So gosh, if you're sending something to a prospect and you don't really know them, but you're trying to get them interested, so maybe you went and grabbed an image of them off Facebook and you put it on a mug or something, put something cute there. You can do that, and the pipeline builder will allow you to build a customer base, because you can send that to them, and you can select one of the built-in templates for emails that says, "Hey, I'm in this business. Look what I did with your image," or look what I've done for your company with your logo. Look what I've done for your school. And what do you think of this? And next time that y'all are in the market for these products, give us a shout. We've got another template there that says, here, it's for customers. It says, "Hey, here's the artwork I promised to send you. Click here and approve it for me," and it'll come back to you automatically. That's all built in, and you get all of that. So that's really a great thing for a lot of folks that are, if you are in startup mode or you're still a hobbyist and you're not sure whether you want to do it, well, get started, but you need to build you a customer base. These are principles of the lean startup concept of how to start your business, and without spending a lot of money necessarily, but start your business by testing your product ideas and making sure that they will sell. And if you get enough people that like it, then you've got a built-in customer base for yourself. We're very proud of that. So the other thing we do is, other than the live dynamic imaging, the print-ready artwork, and is that we are at iPersonalyze, we're very, very proud of the fact that we do have superb customer support. And I was told this, somebody, one of our clients said, your service is superb. And I was in the promotional business, and I just made me crazy when I would call somebody and they wouldn't respond, and it'd take them days and weeks. And so I taught my team from the get-go that when someone sends us something, and what we've set up is a support system that if you send an email to us, it's support at iPersonalyze. We turn around over 96% of those in less than 24 hours. We always acknowledge, but there's every once in a while we run into ones that's super tough. Maybe someone who wants to have a product that has a different font, we need to upload it and things like that.
Yeah, Nick, let me jump in and ask you a question. So in our industry, what is really selling well is, of course, background patterns with monograms. Does your system handle that?
Absolutely. So yeah, what we would do on a monogram on a product like that is we would set up, when they add in an image, we would set up a tab there that says backgrounds, and we can put in all of your chevrons and all of that back there, whatever they want. They can be loaded right there for that product, and then that's done. And then when they go to put in their initials, that layer will land on top of that background, and they can do that. So yes, all of that.
So that's if they buy backgrounds from us,